This baby right here.
You got it.
Thank you.
And I have my guitar.
And your guitar.
If you want to hear the guitar, I'm going to need an amp.
It's all set up for you.
Great.
So you're going to go into makeup like...
I'm done.
Are you done? Boy, you're quick.
I am very quick.
Son of a gun. Okay, we'll call you very shortly when we need you, okay?
Okay.
You want to relax.
I just passed over the board, and he just was a playback was blasting, you know, whatever he finished doing, overdubbing, you know, 8 guitar tracks or whatever he did, and he was just unconscious with this empty bottle, and he came in and there's Dave. He's worked overtime, or he worked all night. What a life!
Yeah, you got to watch that booze. I don't know if he's got a problem with booze. I have no idea. I know I did. And,
Yeah.
You don't mind if I look at your guitar?
No, open it up. It needs opening anyway. Put it right up here. I love that guitar. I'm thinking of buying a white one just like it. I know somebody interviewed me, like you're doing in Los Angeles, said, oh, by the way, I have a white one. You want to buy it? I said, I don't know. Go ahead, you can play one.
You mentioned this was a reissue, right?
Oh, I don't even know what you mean. All I know is I got it in 1976. It was brand new, and it was 76, the last version made.
Good.
And I took the bird off. I don't like the bird. I thought it looked kind of weird. Or whatever he was, a Thunderbird bird.
Is that a Firebird? Or
Firebird, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I just think it plays great. For me, it's great rainy chang rhythm.
Yeah, yeah. Is that a line across there? Is that the way they make it?
That's the way they make them.
Have you been doing any other live appearances besides this? Like, since you know, in the last little while?
The last couple of years, I've probably worked 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 days, maybe 15 days.
Yeah, just small things.
Yeah, I might go into like
you
the
did
Iowa State
Australia.
Fair. I did 5 weeks of that. That was nearly 2 years ago, though.
Yeah. Right.
So I was just waiting for Petty, and
But since the album, this is more or less the first thing you've done, or?
yep, yeah. So I'm getting ready to go to Frisco. My boys are waiting up there for my band.
You have a band, eh? I was gonna
Yeah,
ask you about
sure.
that.
We were in Tucson and Phoenix and Los Angeles. We played in the last week, and now they're on their way up to Frisco now. We're working 4 days there, Berkeley and the Keystone clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Petty will probably come up. He usually does. He flies in once in a while, does about 4 songs at the end.
Great.
We call it the Petty set. If he's coming in, just change things around.
So you just club dates and whatever. Just see how it goes. This is what you do anyway.
That's what anybody does. You go out and work and you rock. People love to rock.
How do you feel about your new album?
That's the best I ever did. My voice has never been better. And the songs, I think, are the best I've ever written. I don't know if they're better, more commercial than some of the hits I had. I think they're just... I'm very pleased with it, let's put it that way.
Well, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it is too.
I was ready for this album.
Let's see. You talk about your early influences musically. Like, is there any songwriters or singers that
Yes,
influenced
Fats Domino.
your
Fats
stuff?
Domino when I
Fats
first...
Domino?
I had heard... I was really into country music, Hank Williams and all that. And then I started hearing some blues when I was real young. I didn't like blues too well. I don't know why. But when I heard Fats Domino, and that wasn't really blues, that was it was rock, man. I mean,
New
it was
Orleans rock and roll.
great piano. And that's what turned me on to rock and roll, I think.
Yeah.
And then Elvis and Jerry Lee, Conway Twitty.
Yeah.
I liked all the stuff they were doing. Some of Paul Anka's stuff. Yeah, I was turned on by some of those guys. Yeah. good writers. Paul Anka was a good writer, you know. He used to write a little different than the average writer was writing.
Mm-hmm.
And
As a singer, Conway Twitty was quite an outstanding singer. He
Yeah.
probably still is.
he still has
heard him much
millions
lately.
of country hits.
Yeah.
He comes up with some great country songs now. I'm talking about Only Make Believe, and I used to do his songs in clubs. They're good club songs, you know, Roy Orbison,
Mhm.
Blue Angel, and stuff like that. Crowds used to like them,
Mhm.
that kind of songs. Dion, I did a lot of Dion songs before I got into the business.
Mhm.
My first gig was with Dion when I got professional.
After the show last night, me and Carrie went to this movie theater in town here, and it was showing DOA, which is a
Dead on
documentary.
Arrival?
Yeah, it's a documentary on. It's got footage of the last Sex Pistols, the American tour, and a few other bands. And
Oh, I didn't know that. I got you. Some other movies.
it's a new. I don't know. It's
Just been released.
just been released.
So
but
what about it?
When we walked in, the music playing was, when we walked in the door, it was Runaway playing as an intermission music, followed by Hats Off to Larry, followed by Little Town Flirt,
Right.
followed by Runaround Sue and Teenager in Love or something, 2 or 3 Dion, and then the
Oh,
movie. It was kind of neat.
That's far
It was
out.
sort of, it was very coincidental because we just left the show and,
That's right.
yeah.
How was the DOA? Interesting.
Well, it was.
What can they do?
It
I mean,
was
they're
depressing to see. They had footage of I mean, the Pistols as a band live was kind of interesting, but they had footage of Sid Vicious and his girlfriend the last few weeks, in their hotel room, just junked right out, and Sid was falling asleep while the guy was trying to interview him, and he just kept on burning the couch. His girlfriend was going, "Sid, wake up! He's trying to interview you," and it's pathetic.
Really.
It is very pathetic.
It's sad when you see
Too
people
many
do that to
young
themselves.
artists, I think that's cool to be drugged and be grooving.
Well,
and
he's a
mad.
hero. He was a hero to a lot of
Yeah,
people.
he's a
even,
hero, right?
Even in the theater at the time, it was like they just thought, "Hey, he's our man," and there he is.
Good. Whatever they gotta have as a
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah.
They will find someday, once they follow his path, they will be in the same shit and fucking hole he's in. He can't face reality. And they'll sit there like that, like a zombie, and carry him out, and somebody will wait on him, feed him till he dies.
Well,
That's what happens when you're in the drugs and the booze. It's awful. I never got that bad, I don't think. But I know where he was at. It's the same with booze or drugs or a needle. Can't face reality. That's all it is. Fear.
Do you think your music keeps you in touch with reality and the audiences does that?
Well, I'm like a commercial writer. I don't go to a club and then say, okay, I'm going to write about, well, there was a guy on the front row, he was picking his nose and he was stepping on his girlfriend's foot, things like that. I don't really write that kind of song. I write a lot in past experiences, I think. To Love Someone off my album, it's like, I was fell in love with shit every girl that walked in school, They wouldn't love me back, so I wrote a song about that. I can just go back into a reservoir of a million ideas when I was a kid, We were talking about that before. Yeah. So, the only experience I went through was Drop Down and Get Me. I've been there. That was hell. I was in hell, It was an awful place. And that was about 6 years ago. Maybe 7, and then I just wanted to get the hell out of wherever I was.
That's the oldest song. That was the one song that you had written.
One song I wrote before I met Petty and sang that to him.
Well, how do you feel about artists with political or social comment in their songs, or have you ever had?
Well, you
have
see,
you ever
I'm
felt doing that? Anything
if
like
a guy
that?
wants to do all that, then maybe he should get on a corner or write a book or something. I don't know what he should do. Or I guess writing a song about it's okay. But most songwriters are artists. An artist is supposed to go entertain people. You're not supposed to push his views on them. I don't think so, I mean, rock and roll, if you're talking about rock and roll, it's supposed to be fun. But if somebody wants to cut a rock and roll song and it's political and people buy it, what the hell, that's cool, man, what the hell. That's why it's free America, it's supposed to be anyway. I mean, I don't think anyone should be judgmental either way or the other. it's like the other majority is trying to, whatever they are, is trying to say that rock and roll has naughty words in it and devil worship in it. Well, it'll only make it bigger. The fear that they have will only make it bigger. And if they're supposed to be so religious and everything, they should have a strong enough faith in knowing that their God will take care of them, you know. They'll take care of everything. And He will take care of everything if they let Him. But, man, when they get into this, you know, playing records backwards and finding out these terrible things, you know. Who in the hell goes home and plays a record backwards? Please tell me that. I mean, I don't even know how to do that myself.
Some turntables you can't do it, but people do it.
Oh, I think it's hilarious. I really think it's hilarious, and I don't think it's right that a band. I just don't agree with it. I don't care what's right or wrong. I mean, maybe they got to bite heads off doves. Black Sabbath, I guess, I understand, bites doves' heads off, live doves. I mean, I killed birds when I was a little kid. You know, I went through that, and it was an awful experience after I grew up. I said, why did I do that? Why did I push wire through a bird? Which I've done, you know, when I was a kid. Today I feed birds, you know. I would never pull the neck off a bird, you know. I would never destroy anything of God's creation, you know. I just wouldn't do it today. But I did it when I was a kid, so therefore I have no right to point my finger at Black Sabbath because they bite heads off doves. Because I've killed doves myself. Shoot them with BB guns.
Yeah.
And I went through that in my phase of life. Maybe they got to go through it.
It's hard to understand them if that's a message.
If that's entertainment, you see. What is that?
Or it's entertainment.
All it is to me, is to make money.
People
you know?
get entertained by the strangest things, but
if you haven't got the talent to entertain just on your own, and you got to go depend on a bird's head, to get people to wank off or whatever they're going to do, fine, you know. See, I'm not trying to judge them. I just been there. I've been in all those dumb places, you know, but I was about 10 years old. That's all I'm telling you. I was 10 years old when I was shooting birds with a BB gun. Today I don't shoot birds. I throw rocks at lizards. I threw a rock at a lizard once. I can't hit anything with a gun or a rock, but I lucked out and knocked his head off. I felt terrible. You know, oh, there's a lizard. I think, wow, I hit him in the head. I couldn't do that in a million years. But to go on stage, if I went on stage today with a bird and choked a chicken and stepped on him and threw blood all over the audience, I mean, the audience digs that, fine, you know. I just don't go to those places. Nor would I support a group like that, nor buy their records. But if people do, and if they need that in their life, if that's the level they're at, fine, you know.
Well, it's
I don't want to be
feeding
at that
on-
level. I've been.
It's just feeding on their own sickness, you know. And
See, I've been at
I
that
guess
level,
so.
at a level of, I don't know if it's that level. I've just been there, and it's an awful place. It's hell. And I don't like hell. I don't like it at all. See, they rushed me. They wanted me here at 12:30. I
No,
said,
they're
"There's
not
no
ready.
way I'm going to get there at 12:30 because I know you're full of shit and you're not going to have anything going." Okay, then. We'll have you there at 2, and we'll be ready, right? It's 2:30 right now.
yeah.
The whole business, it's like the army, you know. Hurry up, rush, and wait for nothing, you know.
Hurry up, rush, wait.
Now, had I been out shopping and late, they'd have been ready. I swear.
Yeah.
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 They would have been mad, I suppose.
Well, let's see. What? That's quite a. Now, where can we jump from there?
The birds?
How about? Do you have any kids?
I have 3 kids.
You got 3 kids.
And I'm very happily married, and that's kind of a private thing, you know.
Okay.
That's all I'll tell you about it. I'm very happily married. I have 3 beautiful kids. They love me. I love them. And they love rock and roll. And if they want to get into rock and roll, that's fine. I just tell them I can't sing for you also.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, they got to go out and do it themselves.
Right.
I'll help them. Once they do it, they got to do some footwork, as it's called. Like get a band together if they want to sing. A couple of them want to sing, you know, real bad. But I don't see them getting bands, and they just sit around and want me to take them in the studio and record them hit records. It's not easy to do, and I'm not going to do it. There's no easy way out in life.
You've got to self-motivate yourself.
That's right.
Have you ever felt that, having a couple of really big hits early in your career and being remembered as the guy who wrote Runaway, and having the audience sort of almost, some people know the song and don't know the singer. You know,
Doesn't
the
bother
people
me.
that they'll say, "Oh yeah, I know that song." You know,
That doesn't
and
bother me.
it
As long as
doesn't-
they know it, or as long as they don't know it, it doesn't matter to me.
you
at all.
don't feel.
I don't care no more. No, I don't know if one time in my life it might have. See, when I want something, I don't care. It's hard for me to explain.
Mhm.
If somebody,
I mean, I just.
I understand what you're saying.
Just to be having that barrier of trying to break out of being an
It's not a barrier.
oldies
It's just
review
there. It's
act
reality.
and things.
see, that's it. I can face reality there. And whatever it is
Right.
out there, if somebody comes up to me and says, "I know your song, but I don't know who you are," that doesn't bother me at all. Now, some artists, I guess that bothers their ego or something.
Mhm.
All I know is I'm happy today, and I can accept you for what you are, or those people that choke birds and stuff, and, the Russians and the people who kidnap people. I can accept them as they're human beings, and I love them. I don't love what they do. That's all.
I was impressed with when you came out last night on the show. It was just it almost looked like you came out of a time machine. You look young and healthy, whereas, not trying to criticize anybody else, but some older artists look their age and look like they can't rock out anymore. Maybe it's like they're pushing it a little bit. And it was good to see somebody that was still
I work
capable.
for that, though. I have to work for that. I think everybody has to work to stay in shape. Like this morning, I was up at 8 o'clock, and I was running around the mall downstairs.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 days ago, I was kicked out. Said I can't run down there. You know, so I ran upstairs. Still a rebel at heart in a way. You know, I didn't argue with the guy. I just said, silly. You know, there's nobody here. Why can't I run here?
In the mall there?
In the mall downstairs, you can run for
lower-
miles down there. It's so gigantic.
Yeah,
So then I said, okay, I'll stop, and I walked upstairs and continued to run. And I ran there this morning. And when I saw the guard coming and with his gun there, I just slowed down and wrote a song about him. He can't do it here. It's called I Hope to Finish It Someday. So I get a benefit out of it. It's not a loss to me that I can't do something in somebody's place, you know.
Mhm.
I'll try to write a song about it.
Yeah.
I thought I'd write a song about it if I could.
Mhm.
Can't do it here, you can't do it there, you can't do it here. But then I get home and I can do it here. It's always been like that.
Yeah.
You can't do that here. Or you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't smoke in there. You shouldn't smoke here. You couldn't do that. You can't do that. It's been a way. You can't wear a hat in this restaurant, you know. Why can't I wear a goddamn hat in this restaurant? The lady can wear a hat. Why can't I wear a hat? I used to really piss me off, you know, and I used to get uptight about it. In England, it was really amazing. You sit there in that restaurant, you gotta take your hat off. So I would put my finger in my hat and go like that. My hat would, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, "The hat's off my head. My hat's off." Sir, you know, oh dear me. I couldn't drink my pop out of a bottle. I'd had to have a straw. Now, if you talk to somebody else, they would think that level of whatever I was at was the same as I was thinking that the guy's biting the bird's head off is at. See?
True.
It's all a level. Like somebody, oh my dear, he drinks his Coke out of a bottle. That's just horrible. See? And I think it's horrible a guy bites a bird's head off. So
Right.
who knows what's horrible? That's what I think, you know.
Yeah. One question I wanted to ask of interest to me is, regardless of the popularity or sales of any of your songs, which ones do you feel are, what are some of your own favorite songs that you've read?
I go to pieces. And it was so simple and easy to write that song, except the bridge was a little tough. A couple of days I wrote it. You'd wonder why. Is that a favorite song? One of my favorite songs.
You wonder why?
Keep Searching. Runaway, I like Runaway now for many different reasons, I think, than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
When I first wrote it, now I've done it so much and it's become so much a part of me that it's just changed my whole life, that song did. So I couldn't say that I don't like that anymore.
You never get tired of doing it?
No, I don't get tired of
no?
doing it. People want to hear it, fine, and they go mad when they hear it. I think it's great that I can give people something that makes them happy.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful to do that. Some people, I don't want to do my old hits. I'm tired. What a bore. What a drag. Well, it's a drag if that's all you're doing. I'll tell you then. If I was just doing my old set of hits, it would be a total drag. But now that I've got 8 new songs I can do, 8 off the new album, which has 10 on it, oh man, it's a joy.
Which ones
Because
don't
those
you
old
do
hits,
now?
I couldn't do those new ones without those other ones, huh?
Which ones don't you do off that?
I don't do
album?
Maybe Tomorrow nor Liar.
Don't do Liar? I thought that would be a...
Well, we were doing it, and then I changed it to another. Well, it didn't change. I just took it out.
Mm.
It wasn't flowing like it should. The song was flowing, but it wasn't flowing in the set.
Yeah. Right.
It's not that I don't like the song. I think it could be a hit in England. I really do. A European hit.
It's kind of lyrically, it kind of, I don't know if it's kind of a, in a way, a sort of a predecessor or a sequel to Little Town Flirt in a way.
That's right.
You know, same type of...
Right, and because those kind of girls are always around, and those kind of men are always around. Men also break hearts and play around, you know. Because girls have the same feelings. That's why girls will buy a man's record song. They'll identify with, man, I sure like to go with that guy. And the other girl will say, yeah, but he'll mess you up, man. He's untrue. He does this to you. He'll screw you up. You know what I mean? They have the same feelings as the same guy looking out the window saying, hey, look at that chick. You want to date with her? Forget it, man. She'll tear you up.
Well, I think a lot of the best songs you can reverse the roles. It's just,
Right.
you know.
But that's one of my favorites.
Did you say You Wonder Why? I Wonder Why? Or is that another song?
No? Favorite songs that I wrote, you said?
Yeah.
I guess I go to pieces. I liked Jody for a while. I don't know if I still do. As much as I used to. I haven't heard it in so long.
Uh-huh.
Can I ask you what you listen to at home? Like,
Here I listen to...
old music?
I go in streaks. I'm now listening to... I have Merle Haggard and Hank Williams Jr. I like some of his new stuff. I like Merle Haggard, most of his stuff. I think he's a fantastic writer. And on the B side of that, I have... when I'm through that, I'll listen to... throw in a tape of Kenny Burrell, guitarist.
Uh-huh.
I'll get bored with that after a while. About a month, I'll stop that and I'll go into Eric Gale. I was hooked on Eric Gale in Australia for 5 straight weeks. I wouldn't listen to anything else.
Is he from
Yeah,
Stuff?
I don't know where he's from. What?
Stuff. Isn't he in the
No,
band
he
Stuff,
writes.
or
He plays guitar for Paul Simon.
He was in the movie, the guitar player in his movie.
Was
One
he?
Trick
Could've
Pony.
been. Don't know. I just know. I heard his album once on a jazz station and I totally freaked out and I bought all of his albums. So for 5 weeks I was solid into him. And then I'd come home and I had to get rid of him. He was driving me nuts because he was reminding me of Sydney, Australia, which I love a lot. I get melancholy with music. A song can drop me right back into my mind, into a place, you know, so I have to get away from it. So then I get right into George Jones. And I got into George Jones for about 2 months, bought all his albums, and all of a sudden he was the artist of the year and all. I must have been flowing right in with him. Because I said, called my manager, I said, God damn, this George Jones, I Am What I Am, what an incredible album. How's he doing these days? Because he was, on the sauce. So I don't know. And all of a sudden, a couple months later, he was nominated for his awards. So I said, wow, that's really great, George. So then I went to see him in concert, you know. He was doing a TV show like we did last night, only it took about 6 boring hours. He had Waylon there and all his friends and Elvis Costello, and it was great, except, you know, it wasn't like last night. It didn't go 1, 2, 3, it just 1, 2, and then stop and take 10, and, well, anyway, so that's what I do when I'm home, and I'll listen to classical while I'm eating a lot, or I'll listen to some kind of harp music, and I love flute music, but it's got to be done right. Toodly, toot, 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 crashing drums. Forget the flute, it's not for me.
What do you think of Zampier, or what is it? The Lonely Shepherd, have you heard that?
Don't know.
That's fairly the number one flute song, at least around
Yeah,
here.
you gotta watch number ones,
Yeah.
because number ones get too commercial. Now, and I love commercial pop, rock and roll, but if you get a commercial jazz artist, man, they song and they do everybody's hits that's current, and Burt Kempfert and all that kind of stuff. They're great, talented guys, but they fall into, you know. I'm awful careful, like when somebody, like when I was wearing cowboy hats about 11, 12 years ago, and all of a sudden everyone started wearing cowboy hats, not because I was wearing it, because of JR, I imagine. Not dump them, I won't wear them now. See, I'm a kind of a rebel when it comes to that. I don't like to be a follower, I guess. But it's okay if people are. Same with music. If it gets too many people start liking something too much, then it's got to have something that scares me. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Strange.
Well, you're in Australia quite a bit. You've been down there quite a bit. Did you ever
Probably
do any
8 or 10
any
times.
type of recording down there? Or?
Yes. I enjoyed it very much. I recorded an Australian artist. Yeah. I thought it was the greatest production I ever did in my life, man. And I couldn't get rid of that product.
Who was?
Marcy Jones.
Marcy.
She was married to my agent at the time, Mark Barnett, who was with Paul Dainty organization over there. And they were my promoters, and I said, God, your wife sings great, I'd love to produce her. He asked me to. And it was a great production, I thought, but I couldn't get anybody to buy the product.
Huh.
Maybe it was the timing, you see, you gotta watch timing. Maybe today someone would probably buy it. Maybe the time was off. I'm talking about 72 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Market maybe wasn't ready for it.
Did you ever run into Van and Young down there?
No.
You know who they are? They're sort of like the Australian Lennon and McCartney almost. They're real songwriters.
The only group I know about down there is Air Supply.
Mm-hmm.
My old organ player is playing with them now. He's toured on about 3 tours he did for me down there. He's a fantastic organ player. He called me from L.A. and he said, you know, I'm with the Air Supply now. And I said, shit, that's great, man. He's really a talented guy. And that's about all I know about Australian artists as far as the Bee Gees. You know, I guess they're from there.
Mm-hmm.
What is their names? Did they record
Van
in
and Young,
America?
actually, their big hit was, they were originally the Easy Beats. They wrote Friday on My Mind, but they've been writing, they're still going. And then they're now, their latest thing was Flash in the Pan. Did you hear? Hey St. Peter was kind of a hit.
I don't know, that sounds like a
Real
great record.
space age, Twilight
Sounds like
Zone
a
kind
hit
of back.
title. Flash in the
Flash
Pan.
in the Pan was it. One of the guys is an older brother to the 2 guys in AC/DC, the 2 young brothers in AC/DC.
Oh, that's great.
So it runs in the family, I guess. But the cab driver who drove me down here this morning, I was playing on my tape. I taped the show from the audience, which sort of came out okay on this mission, and he said, "Oh yeah." He grew up in Winnipeg, and he used to follow the charts, and he said that Runaway was number 1 for 46 weeks in Winnipeg. And I thought,
It's an awful long time.
that's a
It's maybe
long
a
time.
I
year.
don't know if you know
But
where Winnipeg is.
I know where it is, and I've been there too. I used to play the Town and Country. Also depressed, because I remember my life was depressing. I used to go up there, and I remember the dressing room, and I remember I used to play and try to write songs, and I couldn't write a line, and the Eagles were hot, and they were writing such great songs. I mean, God, they were writing such great songs. I said, oh, shit, man. Forget it. I'd just beginning writing the song, the jukebox had come on. I said, oh my God, what an incredible, great song. That guy sings so good, too. I don't know, is Don, is it? The Eagles?
Henley, there's
Yeah, that's it.
Henley.
Yeah.
Um,
They don't scare me now. They sure scared me then.
well, they
I
were.
was just scared of myself. It was trouble.
Do you say you're a prolific songwriter, or do you sort of go in spurts, or have you written a lot of songs that haven't been released? Or?
Yeah, I wrote a few. Like, help me. When I'm writing about truly within myself how I'm feeling today, well, in those days, like 7, 8 years ago, I mean, Help Me just was not commercial at all. It was just about a person totally lost and reaching out for help. Whereas Drop Down and Get Me is the same sort of story, only you can put yourself in that situation a lot easier than you could where I was. I mean, Help Me is such a spot. I don't think anybody ever gets that deep, you know, but I'm
So
sure
that's
they
just
do.
a song that's in the.
It's just a song that just lays there in the can, along with a lot of other ones, like Raylene, which I did with Jeff Lynne. That'll never be released, I'm sure. I wrote a whole album and recorded it. I didn't write it all. I wrote a lot of it. And if I listen to it today, I know why no one company wanted it. It wasn't ready. It was about 8 years ago. Went to New Zealand and recorded it there. You know, it was nuts.
Would you like to?
I spent a lot of money. There's about $20,000 of tapes in my office that I'll never use, I'm sure.
Would you like to, say, put an album together of all those different songs that never seem to get out that you'd, and maybe say,
Why would I
sell
do
it
that?
through the mail to the fans, to your fan club or something?
No, why would I
Or-
do that? I'll put out a proper album that I
Yeah.
agree they should probably buy rather than try to make money on some.
No,
junk
but I mean,
that's
not a
in-
money. I mean, wouldn't be. I don't think you'd make money selling it to a fan club or doing it through the
No,
mail.
I probably
It
wouldn't
would
do
be
it. That's manager's tough. My manager wanted
just
to
for
do
the
that.
people out there that want to hear more stuff. I mean,
I see what you're saying.
You know, that kind of thing, and screw the money and in between your next serious commercial album,
Yeah, but
the
it
big
just
money
they're not
album
really.
or whatever.
They're not. It's like maybe telling somebody to come and do a. I want to do a bad show, so why don't you come and see my show and you don't even have to pay. I'll just do a bad show, because it's bad. It's not good. It's not what I wanted to display of my. It's like paying a picture and say, I don't want anybody to see that. It's not good.
Yeah, I'm not talking about like tracks that didn't quite make it, but if you had maybe a dozen songs that you thought.
No,
were
because it
great,
wouldn't be.
But it would be a kind
It's
of.
not where I
hodgepodge
was
thing,
as an artist. I don't know where I was in those days. I mean,
Yeah.
the voice wasn't strong. I was smoking all those cigs and boozing, and it's not me. That person died. I hope he's died. I can bring him back to life real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, set a jug down
Hit
there
the
and let
bar.
me drink it,
Tonight.
and give me some cigs, and I'm on my way. I don't need the cigs, just the jug. No, I don't need a drink today. You know, a drink. If there was a drink there, it wouldn't bother me in the least. I don't need it today.
Did you ever take singing lessons at all?
Nope. Someone told me the other day, some big singer said, anyone who takes probably singing lessons can't sing anyway.
You think that's true?
I believe it, yeah. If you can sing, you sing. If you can't, forget it. Dump it. That's how I feel.
Well, maybe if someone doesn't believe they can sing,
Well, that's their
and-
problem. Go
and
see a
they need-
psychiatrist.
well, maybe a singing coach can be a type of psychiatrist. Maybe they can.
I'm not saying
maybe
you
that-
shouldn't go. I'm just saying. To me, I can't see A, B, C, D. I can't see it because I'm a rock and roll singer. Now, if I'm an opera singer, I suppose then you go take a lesson. I don't have a clue. I don't. All I can tell you again, as I speak for myself, I don't take singing lessons. I also agree, though, if someone's a musician and trying to learn by ear, it's nice to learn notes. But I don't know notes. I just know chord changes. And for rock and roll, I mean, Neil Sedaka, I imagine, can read. I know a lot of guys that play bass in studios that can read. They read great. I think you lose rock and roll feel if you're reading it. If you got to read it. I used to use studio musicians, and they were great. You know, they could play amazing. But man, they give me a street band any day. Give me the Heartbreakers, or give me my band. Give me I call them street pickers, and I'm a street picker. And that's how rock and roll is. It's from the streets. It isn't from somebody going in and studying it and doing all that bullshit with it, you know. It's like, and my school teacher in school used to drive me crazy, telling me to sing this and sing that and whoa, and singing boring, terrible songs, old-fashioned songs. He used to drive me nuts. So then he tried to teach me how to play the bass, and he taught me notes, you know. I said, shit, this is so boring, what a drag. So I went out and got my guitar, got a little book, and learned how to play chords. that was for me. Now, if somebody wants to take singing lessons and do all that, that's great. For me, as a singer, a rocker, I mean, it would be weird of me to go down now tonight and take a singing lesson. That would just be strange. I mean,
But you mean
it wouldn't be real. It would be unreal for me to be a rock singer, I think, to take singing lessons.
you just found your own voice
It
through.
was just there, I just started singing. Come in!
Hi.
Hi.
Susan, I spoke to you this morning in your hotel.
Ah, yes,
We do
Susan.
the afternoon radio show here.
Did you get permission for me to go?
I gave you permission.
Oh,
No,
good.
I spoke to the higher ups. Is that okay?
No, Stan, the producer. You might
Oh,
want
yeah.
me for...
Oh, no.
And also, I got a contract here that some lady was here the first day I got here and made sure I brought it yesterday, and she said I had to see it, and that's it, and I have brought it, and I ain't never seen her since.
Is that right?
You know nothing about that, though, do you? You were the radio people,
What
Sue.
radio? So radio is much more important than television.
Let's go.
Okay.
I was going to ask you about the last few years that you've been away from the business. That you said that your life has gotten a lot better,
Oh, yeah.
and
But I haven't been away from the business. You see.
well, as
I've
far
been
as the
in-
public's
I've been really in the business
view.
when I changed my life, when I got back in
Yeah.
the business, if you want to say I was left it. I mean, I was nuts. The booze got me.
Mhm.
But the booze doesn't have me today. 4 years ago I stopped. I made a direct change in my life, that's all. Changed my attitude, changed. I go to sleep every night now. If I go to a party, I stay an hour, I go back to bed.
Mhm.
People want to say I'm boring, fine. Doesn't bother me in the least. They say, why don't you drink? Is something wrong with you? Fine, I just don't drink. Don't care what people say about me now anymore. I used to try to do things that would make people like me and all that.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at that. I suppose, try to do that. But
I kind of whether it's just coincidental or whether it's any similarity whatsoever, I somehow saw a parallel between your sort of public disappearance with the last recording that I knew of around the mid 70s, and John Lennon leaving stop recording
right.
at that period, and I just
yeah, he
I
left
don't
too.
really know what I'm trying to ask, but I just
I know what
saw
you're saying.
some kind
Sometimes you got to take a break, and sometimes a break is not a year or 6 months. It's 5 years.
Mhm.
Donovan's just coming back now from 5 years of disappearing, man. He disappeared too. No, I don't think it's because of booze or nothing. We all disappear for our own reasons, maybe. I was forced to disappear. The booze made me. I mean, the booze just got me, Don't like to dwell on the booze. But that was my thing. Now somebody else might have an emotional hang-up about something, It may not be booze at all. I want to escape and just gets the hell out. Because then I think I found out what am I doing on Earth? What in the hell am I doing here? I wasn't enjoying anything, nothing. I had a lot of resentment toward my old manager, toward people and things, and I started getting involved in just drags things, man. I was negative. That's what I'm saying. I was negative. Very negative person. Now I'm not negative anymore. I'm a very positive person today. But I had to go through hell to get there, see. And it's a spirit that I found. It's a power. It's a gigantic power on earth that I can't even believe that what that power can do. I'm seeing it today. Never believed in it before. Thought it was a bunch of hogwash. But yet I don't raise a flag and go on TV. And I've got a touch of spirituality, not religion.
Mhm.
It's my own, and it's just okay. No one has to tell me what to believe or anything yet, because if they did, I wouldn't believe it probably. That's what I did with my life. And Lennon gave me some more inspiration. He ducked out for a long time and came back rockin', came back commercial. When I first heard his record, I said, man, I'm really glad to hear that, because that's the kind of music I do best. And I sit home and try to write out what a drag the working man class is and all that. I'm in a drag place where I can write about love songs. I can just jump back into my teenage days and I'm straight, you know. And I can make it. It's like a man who writes murder books, writes murder stories, detective stories. He's never killed nobody. Could be the most peaceful man on earth. Yet he can dream up all those how you kill a man and all that insane. That's all I do with song.
Do you have any immediate plans, like another album in the works, or
Sure,
kind
I've
of
got 3
quick,
already,
but,
man. We do one
3
new
more?
one on stage already.
a new with 3 more songs?
No, one new one that hasn't even been recorded. I just wrote it about 2 months ago. It's one of the best songs, commercial songs I've written in years. Come in!
Are you ready now?
Sue, I'll be ready
Yep.
for you 10 minutes ago.
Okay, stand by. Very quiet in the studio. Tape is rolling.
Oh, the tape is rolling?
He's talking to the cameras, but they are rolling tape, yes. So we're gonna do this one.
No, I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, I'll give you the, I'll give you that in a second.
What do you want me to do?
Tape, that's a great new tape.
Well, I can do
Does
that.
it? Oh, pretty.
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2.
All right. Let him teach fingers.
So that's called combustion.
That's the next single?
You're fine. Just our cameras are fine. Okay, here we go again.
I knew it couldn't have been me.
Okay, 5 seconds. 4, 3. Okay, just wait for my cue, Burton. 4, 3. Cut. You're fine.
I'm starting to hate this riff.
Okay.
Is that your new single?
It's called On Leaves. How do you like it?
You hear that?
No.
He says that you see the shadow of the boom mic on his fingers.
He said he hurt his leg.
But, Burton, let's see your fingers on the piano,
No, it's not me.
That's the mic, that's the boom mic shadow there. It's the shadow from the other mic standing with. You're not going to do that. Let's see, actually, just get another. Okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. That's a word.
74 Lloyds of London.
Don't be concerned about it.
How about the other one with Paul?
We're rolling. Okay, very quiet. Here we go. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2.
So that's called combustion.
You think that's your next single?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm hoping the best for it, keep my fingers crossed, but you never know until it's released.
Yeah, you never know. I never knew neither. I went to New York when I first started recording, and I had these 2 what I thought were great songs, and they should have been the single, I thought. And I got a call from my producer, and he said, "No, those songs are definitely not singles. We've decided that you're going to have to write some more songs, or write an up-tempo song." So I didn't know what to do, I was so depressed, and all of a sudden, one night at Battle Creek, Michigan, at the Hi-Lo Club, my old piano player, Max Crook, he had his little Musitron, which we've used in a lot of the records, and his piano, and he hit an A minor and a G, and I said, wow, what was that? And he said an A minor and a G, and I was so tired of hearing him. So I said, play that again. So he played it again, and I just started like this.
That was Runaway.
That was it, yeah.
Okay, cut. This is good, but we'd like to do one more. So. Okay, here we go. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2.
So that's it. That's called Combustion.
Is that your next single?
I think so. We're kind of looking at it that way, but I'm crossing my fingers. You never know what's going to happen until it's released.
That's for sure. That reminds me, back when I cut my first couple records, I didn't know. I went to New York and came back, and my manager and producer called me and said, it's not going to be a single, you got to write some more stuff. And I said, what, you're not going to release my record? That's a smash. No, it is. And I think they were right. After hearing The Search and I'll Always Love You off my first album, I'm sure they were right. But so what they told me to do is go back and write some more stuff and write an up-tempo song, he said. So back at the old High-Low Club in Battle Creek, Michigan.
Okay, what's happening is your guitar